Hello, welcome to March 15th, 2022. I'm Kurt, and this is my daily good life meditation, an activity that I do each and every morning just after I wake up to remember my objectives and principles, my life objectives and principles, that is, so that I can keep good track of them, husband them well, clip off the dead bits and put a little water here and there, and care and feeding. care and feeding of what's important, and also to see how I'm doing with the yesterday and today. Just a second, please. I wish I had a memory that could hold something in its head for longer than 30 seconds anymore. Otherwise, I have to write everything down. First, yesterday and last night. Up to my old tricks. I was up again, even though despite daylight savings time, I was up at least half an hour, 45 minutes, not quite an hour before the sun went up. And up in earnest. I mean, totally awake. Just laying there in bed. Not even thinking about work, just totally awake. It's such a strange thing. So it's not, I don't think I have this insomnia built into my circadian rhythm, because daylight savings time would have been, I would think, would have been a little slower to react, not less than 48 hours. But my body knew that seemed to know when the alarm was going to go off. Spring forward. Or maybe it's just the fact that if it hadn't been daylight savings time, I can remember my insomnia is between half an hour, 1 hour, and 2 hours window before the alarm goes off. So previously, before daylight savings time, if it went off at 5 a.m., I would be getting up anywhere from 3 a.m., anywhere in that range. So you know what? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's simply the fact that the whole thing moved forward an hour. And so if I woke up an hour beforehand, that would have been 2 hours beforehand. That could explain it. It's still within that same window. So I keep threatening that I'm going to go see a doctor, and I will do that. Yesterday was a good day. Didn't get to that contract again. It was a really full day. I thought I only had 2 meetings yesterday, and I thought, I've got all this time, I will get to that contract. And the whole dang day, I didn't even take a break in the morning. I did take a break in the afternoon, 20 minutes to do yoga, which really makes a difference when I do that yoga. That 20 minutes of yoga, really, it's as good as the 10 laps that I used to do every day in the pool in our last place, in terms of just making the whole body feel better. I feel good right now. I really do. I feel good right now, except for I'm stressed out about work. I got a lot of meetings today. I got like 8 meetings today. Of which I think 6 of them are my meetings, which means I have to come up with the agenda, run the meeting, wrap it up, if necessary, send out minutes. But I have a feeling it will be a good day. Yesterday again was a work day, and then in the afternoon I took the dogs for a walk. But the spring forward thing got us, because I think I told you when I went to the desert, the heat almost got me last weekend, on last Friday. Well, it's hot. It's not super hot yet, but it's hot out here. And I took the dogs out, and dogs seem to be, the domestic dogs at least, seem to be a little more susceptible. And the heat went up, and the daylight savings time led to me taking them out earlier in the afternoon, in the late afternoon than usual. Then Ollie here, the black dog, absorbs the heat. He was definitely hot, so I had to I realized that I didn't want him walking that heat and get sick or anything or be uncomfortable, so I turned this around and walked back. So it's left me with a lot of time in the afternoon, free time in the evening, but then I had to go meet Miko and I had to go run some errands. Anyway, yesterday really got filled up. In terms of challenges for the good life, temperance and apathy and the horror show. Yesterday wasn't a very challenging day. I was protected from, sometimes life does that. Life gives you a little, it seems, gives us a little sanctuary day where we aren't challenged. Oh, there was one thing I did. There was this one meeting where I got in this, I won't give out details, but I fell into this trap of, this communication trap that I couldn't get out of. I won't give any details, and I wound up kind of looking weird in front of, this is a big kickoff meeting. It is nothing at all, nothing bad at all. It's just that, I just looked a little bit like a weirdo. There was nothing I could do about it in the moment. I knew it was happening. Excuse me. Funny almost. Okay. The good life. I really want to be ready to give this all up should death come, and knowing that my wife and daughter will be all right, to the best of my ability to provide for them after I'm gone. Sounds haunting. That they know that I love them, and I sincerely appreciate and care for them, and that my life's work is in good shape, and it is for the most part. I need to edit a little more on the good life. I'm not proud of that one yet. Oh, hey. Oh, it's gonna be a morning like that, huh? Okay. I also want to improve the nick of time, as Thoreau would say, and want to work hard on my objectives and principles to become someone who can react well emotionally to the challenges of life, and who strives to do good little things throughout the day, and to know where my limits are, and to recognize opportunity, and to never multitask, and to always be fighting against the things that I think are true, so that I can keep them under pressure, so that they will yield where their weaknesses are, and I can find them out. And to be a reasonable human being, honest, objective, and a deep skeptic. To remember that I don't have a soul. The soul appears to be wishful thinking. But I do get a consciousness snug between my ears, looking out from my eyeballs, figuratively speaking, for some time of life. But then nothing after that. And that consciousness is never really with anyone else. It's always alone. Likewise, your consciousness, although we can signal and semaphore across the void to one another, and that whatever concepts of right and wrong and good and evil that my consciousness comes up with, my little homunculus, those are subjective at their core and tentative at best, and nowhere existing outside of our minds. To maintain some purpose in my days, to be a good husband and father, a good citizen, and a good man in general, where good is defined as someone who seeks after the improvement of the well-being of others, particularly thinking of others. pursue my mission, which is the sharing of this message of the Good Life Creed. To remember that everything is made of bits and pieces, and everything that is composed will likely decompose. So better enjoy this body and mind for the little bit of time that they remain in their constituent forms, because I already feel them falling apart. And to remember that free will appears to be a very convincing illusion, that though we feel like we're making decisions and we are able to choose one or the other, in fact, I don't think that we would ever have made any choice other than the one that we actually did. Although I can't prove that. I hold this position on faith, as damnable a thing as that is. To strive to be mature by remembering my successes and failures and being strong in pursuing the former and avoiding more of the latter. To be someone who seeks after society, who doesn't shy away and hide in my room. Is that what I'm starting to do here? Not so much. Just for my work time and then a little bit of time after dinner. That's reasonable. I could even have more time in here. That would be right. Fine. To be very careful with what I say and the words that I use, both in spoken and written form. And to never ever gossip about anyone. I can't remember the last time I've done that. Maybe that's because of the way that I'm working now, being from home. I basically don't have the opportunity to be one-on-one with people like I used to when I was working at the office. That's where a lot of the gossip happens when you're in society. So it's easier this way. So maybe it's a false sense of improvement, or it's more a matter of circumstance, perhaps. To be a temperate human being, controlling my consumption of everything, especially my consumption of time. To remember that life is a horror show, chock full of terrible things happening to everybody at different times. We all get it more or less. Some of us more. Not so much me. I've been very lucky in that capacity, but I expect my time might be coming. I hope not, but it might. Samuel Johnson, the great linguist, not linguist, lexicographer, was a very pious man, a deep believer, and he felt that the trials that came were God's opportunity to exercise improvement. I think the same thing too, but sans deity. And to bear my suffering well, bear the things that I have to do with a strong will and an open mind and a committed, purposeful pace. Can you hear the dog snoring? And to not share my upset with others unduly. I can tell my wife about my trouble and my daughter to a lesser degree. I can talk to a friend, but I will not allow myself to explode and vent my upset at the world, or cause to dispossess my upset onto someone else. Nor will I accept that from others. They may do that, but I won't have to consume it and soak it into me. So there's kind of a voyeuristic satisfaction that comes of doing that. I don't want to do that. and to give up distracting myself all the livelong day from the fact that the universe appears to be devoid of agency, guiding agency. I mean, we're clearly here, we're agents, but we're clearly here, but agency beyond us, aka God. So, to be all right with that. Well, what choice do I have? It just appears to be the case. And to be at once satisfied and content with my circumstance, while all the while recognizing where I can improve and striving to improve. A strange, simultaneous inertia of stillness and momentum forward. To be prepared to step upon the path of wildness, which is a way forward out of a current circumstance into new circumstance, a tricky path, informed of our gut feelings. I'm getting ready to do that as Yumiko and I plan for our next step, our move back to Japan, or the adventure of life that we'll make there. It's kind of fun. It's scary too. To be at once able to move forward towards the responsibilities of adulthood, of education and career and keeping a home, raising a family, saving for retirement, while all the while indulging to an increasingly lesser degree the interest in the inner man. Only lesser because I've done it so much already. Too much, perhaps. and there's that part is kind of complete. My major great life adventure, going alone, is complete. What's left is secondary adventures to come. And to remember not to sin, where sin in my worldview consists of being untrue, believing things that are untrue, knowingly. Sitting with hope, uncoupled from action. Trusting in faith, which is nothing more than wishful thinking, but wanting something to be true, so much so that I'll say that that want is sufficient evidence that it is true. Believing things because of the masses are crying that it is so, or tradition speaks so, or someone in a position of authority hails their words as true, and then to never ever gossip. To have at least one great life adventure, something to be the centerpiece of my years, the story that I reflect on in old age and share with others, and the thing around which I can build the scaffolding of life objectives and principles, built on ambition and effort, and the courage to push into new territory. And then to be open to record whatever words come of that at whatever time, not letting them flow past. And to remember that though I strive for the mark, I usually miss, and that's okay. Like yesterday, with that meeting, I had that silly thing that I did. Otherwise, it was pretty good, but I missed the mark. Oh well. And I recognized it as soon as it happened. I thought, bullseye aim. To continue waking up early every morning and taking big steps, medium steps, and little steps too. Up, up, up. Climbing in life until I can climb no more. And then gaze at the view and the vista of where I rose to. Stopping to enjoy the view along the way as well, because you never know when the climb might end. And to remember that life is an arena where we get to use our principles towards the pursuit of our objectives. To be always satisfied with less, remembering that nothing is sometimes enough. And then to try to have a good time. A safe, sober, and sound good time. All right, well, that was my good life creed. Now, to prepare for the day. Like I said, I have a lot of meetings. So after this, I'll put this video up. I'll read the Bible. I've finished Proverbs. I've now moved on to Ecclesiastics. And I read Ecclesiastes 1 and 2 the last 2 days. I'm on to 3 now. Really enjoying it. This perspective of the teacher. All right. And then I'll just do the day. Boy, I gotta wake up, Kurt. I feel like I'm tired all of a sudden. Maybe it's because of that hour of missed sleep, but otherwise I went to bed right on time early. Does that make sense? Right on time early. Okay, anyway. So I gotta snap out of it, get awake, and get to work. I got a full day's work. I hope you all have a good day too. I know I'm gonna have a good day. I just feel it. I just know it's gonna be a challenging day, but a challenging day performed well is something to be very satisfied with later. Take care. Bye-bye. Be safe, but not too safe.